Welcome back to Overtime Fantasy, where we go beyond the whistle to bring you home a fantasy championship. I'm Mike Kinder, and I'm here with Tyler Jeffries. While Phil and Dan are both on scout team, how do you feel about that?
You know, I think Phil's been told multiple times in his life, get it chopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Dan's never.
Dan's never heard get it chopping. Dan is probably like, oh, take a lap around the bases, Daniel.
Yeah. It's okay, Daniel. You can go up to the batting cage in a little bit.
Dan is all about participation trophies.
Let's just be honest. He never got a trophy. He got a gold star.
Yeah, he always got the, little ribbons.
Ribbons.
Dan's got a whole trophy case full of ribbons.
I bet you he still shows them off, too.
Oh, yeah. This is when I was in the 6th grade and I got most improved. Oh, man. So, today we are going to do some draft strategies. So it was supposed to be all four of us, and we are going to cover 4 different strategies, but, you got to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be Tyler and I. We're going to cover 2 different draft strategies. We're going to do that while doing a mock draft. So, we are using the Sleeper app to do a mock draft. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be able to both get into the same draft and draft together simultaneously in the same draft there. So, how many mock drafts do you think you've done, Tyler?
Probably 60.
Jeez. 60?
Probably 60.
Oh my god.
Between like Yahoo,
Sleeper. How many of those have been poop mock drafts?
Oh, this past one we did, I didn't know you were going to put it on Facebook. If I knew that, I would have gone with my original strategy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I never go tight end early.
I snaked you on that one, but I didn't put your name on it. At least I didn't put your name.
I think everybody knows because I went in there and I was like, Team 3 is a total dumpster fire.
Yeah. I actually put it on Twitter. Josh put it on Facebook.
Well, you know what,
Shout out Josh Williams.
Willie could stay up in Ohio next weekend.
No. So draft season is coming upon us. Like we're in the mix right now. Like it's getting exciting. Like I am super excited for draft season. My wife, on the other hand, not so excited. Like she could do without draft season and she'd be happy.
That's understandable. You go pretty hard.
Yeah. Like she, I try to do my best of making up, any time that I'm at home, like stepping up, being awesome husband, awesome dad, because I know those weekends are coming up to where, hey, I'm going to be gone all day. She's just like, I don't know why you got to do so many of them live. They do them on the computer all the time. So
that's true. It's very true. They do it on the computer, but there's just something about a group of guys getting together and laughing at somebody that takes. Right. Patrick Mahomes first overall.
That's right. So it's super exciting. Draft season's upon us. My first draft is this Saturday. My second draft, I know it's early.
This Saturday?
Yes, this Saturday.
Is that why shout out Brian Schlamian?
Yeah.
They're all coming down?
Yes. So quick, that draft is usually my very last draft, as you know. Like, it's usually right before the first preseason game. So we're all having babies. All of us. Like, my wife's pregnant. Steve's wife's pregnant. Brian's wife's pregnant. Chris's girlfriend's pregnant. Like, everybody's having babies. So, Brian is the only person that has to travel from out of town. And his wife is due at the end of September. So, he's like, I can't do a late draft. So, we have to do an early one. Which, not a problem. I just like getting together and drafting.
Is this the first time that you're not going to make playoffs in any fantasy league?
No, that's not going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's happening.
No.
You're going to have a baby come October, and it's over.
Here's the thing.
It's over for you.
With this baby, I'm able to prepare for 9 months. With my last baby, I had 3 days to prepare and get in dad mode and learn how to be a father. So I've already gone through that trial phase. This is the second baby, so I should be good. And in that year, I think I made the playoffs in 2 of the 4 leagues. So I did all right. And now, don't get me wrong, in Brian's league, I did have the worst team I've ever had. So
this year, Brian's going to have that?
Brian, that's the thing. Like I told Dan, Dan Hudgens, shout out to him because he's not here.
Oh, he's a trophy. He turned into a trophy.
He turned into a trophy. But, yeah, I told Dan, I was like, dude, like, playing fantasy football when you have your first child is it's just different. It's weird, like, it's hard. And then he come back to me at the end of the season, and he was like, you never spoke truer words, man. Like, it is so hard.
You know what's crazy? Is I don't know how Phil Carrolla's watching. He transformed into a ring. That's crazy.
Phil, shout out to Phil.
Shout
Phil,
out.
my man.
Sling it.
Sling it. All right, so, like I said, we're going to do a mock draft. Where are you going to draft from? What position?
I'm going to draft at 11.
At 11. Okay.
At 11.
I'm going to take 3. I like 3. I like the 1, 2, 3 spot. You know, and we do a beer Olympics to determine our draft order in Brian's league, and there's no doubt that I'm finishing first. You know, I finished first the last 2 years. Me, Brian, and Phil are on the same team, hands down. That's an all-star team.
It's over.
It's over.
Oh,
it's over. God. First.
Oh
me,
man,
it's going to be, you know, Phil drafting first, me drafting second, Brian drafting third. Mark it on your calendars.
Let's get it.
All right, so without, unless you got anything else before we get started, we can go ahead and jump in this mock draft. What do you say?
Let's get into this mock draft.
All right, let's start mocking. All right, so we have me drafting at the 3rd spot. Josh is drafting at the number 8 spot, and you have the 11. My strategy when I enter a draft, especially when I'm in the top like 5, I like to do a balance between running back and receiver. So if you're in the first 3, you can go running back, and then follow it up with a very, very dominant receiver, and that can still maintain that balance. But if you're in the middle, if I'm in the middle of the draft and I'm drafting to keep my balance, I'm probably going to go like a running back or a top tier receiver, and then I'm going to follow it up with the opposite position.
Yeah.
And then normally I bounce back and forth until I get to a point where I'm like, all right, look, I really like these 2 receivers, but I like the running backs that are coming up maybe next round. You know, and that's how I kind of value my balance of running back and receiver. And I think Josh said that he's going to go running back heavy to begin with, and then kind of follow that up with maybe a dominant quarterback, and then the later rounds start stashing all those sleeper wide receivers and get those wide receivers that can get him points in the later rounds. And then, so what is your strategy here at pick 11?
So my strategy usually, like for every year before, was to go running back, no matter what. I didn't care what pick I was going running back, because it's so hard to find those 3 down dominant running backs. But now, we're in 2019, there's only a handful in the NFL. Zeke's not going to be there. Melvin Gordon's not going to be there. I don't know what they're doing with their contract. That's another discussion we can get into later. But I'm going to go wide receiver. I would love to go like a Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, and then following up and going like Josh Jacobs, Kerryon Johnson with Chris Carson the following round.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna hit those top 2, number 1 tier receivers, and then start stacking up on running back to hopefully catch those top tier running backs as the season goes on.
Because this is like the first time ever I felt that you can get 2 guys for your running back, your starting 1 and 2 running backs, in 3rd and 4th round that are actually going to put up very good points.
Put up good numbers and can be solid. All right. So without anything else, without any more talking here, let's go ahead and start putting it into work. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the start button on this. Number 1 went Saquon Barkley, then Alvin Kamara. And normally, if Zeke signs his contract right now, I'm taking Zeke. But I'm not touching Zeke in the first round unless his contract is signed. I just can't put that kind of risk on Ezekiel Elliott that early in the draft when somebody like Christian McCaffrey or David Johnson is still there.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't do it. Those guys are going to put up numbers. I can't risk, like, losing 4 weeks. I can't risk losing the whole season. So, me personally, I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey. How do you feel about Zeke? Are you going to take him this high? Or
no, I would not take him this high. I do have Le'Veon Bell vibes when it comes to Zeke, because Zeke's the type of running back that will sit out the whole year.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. To where, like a guy like Melvin Gordon, I think he's going to come back eventually, because he's not going to miss. He needs, as much playing time with how much injuries he's had. He has to prove it. So Zeke scares me. I get very, very big Le'Veon Bell vibes from him.
All right, so David Johnson went right after mine. So I took Christian McCaffrey. Number 4 went David Johnson, then Zeke, then DeAndre Hopkins, then Le'Veon Bell, and Josh took James Conner. Followed up by Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, and now you're on the clock.
Ooh, this is tough because I really wanted Julio. That's who I wanted. And now I'm looking, and I'm going to go Michael Thomas. That's a guy that I think is going to have a very good year. Just signed that big contract, paid highest wide receiver in the league. I've checked his stats out. For the last, 2 years, he's put up almost top 1 wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
in the league.
He's there's a reason why he got paid the money that he got paid.
But it's very interesting here because, Joe Mixon's there. I really like Joe Mixon just because how much of, rushing, attempts he's going to have.
Yeah,
that's what really intrigues me with Joe Mixon. But Tyreek Hill's there. He's not going to be suspended. Going wide receiver. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill.
Now that's the number 1 wide receiver from last year, and you got him in the second round, and you got Michael Thomas, who I believe could easily be the number 1 wide receiver this year. So you have 2 people that can be battling it out for the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad problem to have.
No. So the only thing that's really bad about going like that is there are going to be people that are going to be stashing running backs.
Yeah.
And now I have to wait all this time before I can draft my first running back. So.
Yeah. So Josh took Dalvin Cook, who I was kind of hoping would fall to me. I like Dalvin Cook in the second round. Melvin Gordon went right before me in the 9th pick of the second round.
Love that value.
Now, here's the thing. It's a possible value, but he is threatening to sit out the entire season if he doesn't get traded.
You see, but the difference is we've known what they have offered him. They offered him $10 million.
Yeah.
And if they offered him that, I mean, they might be able to bump it up just a little bit more.
I don't think he's going to take just a little bit more because I think that would put him at like the 4th best running back, and the one above him is like making 13 or 14 million.
No, the top running back is Le'Veon Bell, and he's making only like 13.55. I say only 13.55, but
yeah,
I mean he's the top running back getting paid in the league.
Yeah. All right. So, me personally, I'm not taking Melvin Gordon in the second round. I might take him in the third, but once again, it's that risk factor that you could have somebody that you drafted in the top 3 rounds that it sits out the entire season, and that is nothing that you want to see.
Yeah.
So I got Christian McCaffrey already. I really like Mike Evans that I'm seeing here as a wide receiver, and that's really where I'm going to keep my balance. I don't like the top, if I look at, the top 3 running backs that are on the board right now, I'm not a big fan of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Mike Evans, and I'm going to see what comes back around to me. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of like Marlon Mack, Damian Williams, Derrick Henry. Those are the guys that went after me. So now, because I didn't need to draft those guys, I wanted somebody that was a little bit further down on the list. I can get that higher wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, now I look at Leonard Fournette in the 3rd round. I love that. So now that's on my team in the first 3 rounds is Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, and Leonard Fournette.
That's a good balance right there.
It is. And it's starting that balance. So what I'm going to be looking at as it comes back to me is I'm going to be looking at a wide receiver or a wide receiver that can make it back to me in the 5th round.
Yeah. Yeah, because in that scenario, you have a guy that is arguably could finish as the number 1 running back.
Yep.
Another guy that could finish in the top 5 if he stays healthy. And you have Mike Evans, who I think is going to have an amazing year this year.
Yeah, I love Mike Evans because he just, if I'm drafting at the beginning of the rounds, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 area, he just seems to always make it back to me. And he's a guy that's going to finish in the top 10. Like, he does it. He's got Jameis Winston. They have a good connection and everything. So, Josh went 3 running backs back to back to back. He's got James Conner, Dalvin Cook, and Kerryon Johnson.
Took the guy I called out.
I know, and I just seen Tyler roll his eyes, so I knew that he wanted Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, I want to Kerryon Johnson. I mean, he's going to get all these touches. Like, they put that offense, they showed you a glimpse of what they're planning on doing. Now, I mean, you have C.J. Anderson there. He's not going to take a ton of carries away from Kerryon Johnson. And the goal line work last year where LeGarrette Blount came in and he took it from him, he's not there anymore. So I really love Kerryon this year, and I really hate that. But I have a guy that I think is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year with Josh Jacobs, and I don't mind having him there. And coming back just like I thought, being able to, Mark Ingram's on the board. I love Mark Ingram in redraft leagues. I don't like him in dynasty leagues. I really think Justice Hill will take over eventually. They have David Montgomery, the second running back projected after that. I don't like that. I'm going to go with Chris Carson over Phillip Lindsay. That's really close for me. But Royce Freeman, they've already talked about how they want to use him more and more. I really like Chris Carson this year.
Yeah, and don't forget they have Rashad Penny as well. But I think Chris Carson is going to have a very solid year.
Well, what they said was they wanted to utilize Rashad Penny and more of the passing game.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with because they're not going to pass the ball a ton. It's the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So I wonder what Josh is going to do here. He went 3 running backs. Is he going to go Phillip Lindsay, Sonny Michel? Or is he going to go for, a quarterback right now? He said he wanted a dominant quarterback.
So the quarterbacks that are still on the board right now is Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, basically all of them but Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So I think he's either going to go running back or he might look at a wide receiver like Kenny Golladay. Maybe Brandon Cooks.
Right there. I was about to say Brandon Cooks. So he went Brandon Cooks, which I think is going to be great because I think he's going to come back around and pick up a quarterback. So it's nice to establish your number one as Brandon Cooks. He was a good wide receiver last year.
I don't think he's going to be the number one wide receiver there.
He's not.
Robert Woods.
Yeah. But I'm saying as your number one wide receiver, I think it's a solid pick, especially in the 4th round.
Well, Robert Woods was available also. I would have taken Robert Woods over Brandon Cooks, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I like Brandon Cooks a little bit better.
So, where are you going to go with this pick?
All right. So what I'm looking at here is I have a couple wide receivers that I like that I'm seeing. I'm seeing Julian Edelman, which I love Julian Edelman this year, being really the only veteran connection with Tom Brady in there. I like Julian Edelman. I do like Robert Woods. I like Kenny Golladay, Tyler Lockett. So I'm going to switch over to running backs and see if there's as many running backs that I like as wide receivers. I see Tevin Coleman. I like Tevin Coleman. I like Darius Geis, but like in between that is like Kenyon Drake and Lamar Miller. I like Darius Geis. I kind of like James White. Rashard Penny I'm not like a huge fan of. So what I'm going to do is because there's fewer running backs that I like at this moment, I'm going to go another running back right now and take Tevin Coleman.
Okay.
That way, one of my receivers that I liked, and I almost got him, but one of my receivers that I like is definitely going to make it back to me. And Julian Edelman almost made it back to me, but he didn't. I still have Kenny Golladay, Mike Williams, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Boyd. I like Tyler Boyd, but I don't think I'm going to take him right now because I really like Kenny Golladay in this position. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Kenny Golladay.
I'll tell you what, how you're looking right now with Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette being your 1 and 2 running back, Tevin Coleman being your flex, and Mike Evans and Kenny Golladay being your wide receiver 1 and 2. That's the start of a great team.
Yeah, it really all comes down to what Kenny Golladay does in that moment, because everybody else is gonna produce. Tevin Coleman is kind of a little bit up in the air, but he is a hard running back. He's got familiarity with Shanahan, and he's going to get used. And I heard that he's going to get used in the passing game. Like they're going to spread him out and put him out wide. He's going to be a receiver at times, so I think Tevin Coleman will actually produce some good numbers this year.
So right after you pick, Chris Godwin went, Deshaun Watson went, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Miller. I think Josh is going to go Andrew Luck here. I have a gut feeling that that's where he's going to go because he said he wanted a dominant quarterback. If he doesn't...
No, he's going Baker.
You think he's going Baker?
He's going Baker.
You think so?
Josh is now a converted Browns fan. He's. I think he's going Baker.
Now, how do you feel about that? Baker over Andrew Luck?
I would take Matt Ryan over both of them.
I would too. 7th round.
Yep.
That's where he's going right there. I like that value.
No, he went Mike Williams.
He went Mike Williams.
So what he's thinking right now is he's looking at all these quarterbacks and he's thinking somebody's going to make it back to him.
Yeah. I don't know if I.
And that's a good strategy to have is to look at, like, if you're like, all right, I need to get a quarterback, but you look at it and there's like 5 quarterbacks that you like, just, you know, and you know that all 5 of them aren't going to go before it comes back to you. Give it another round. Take one of those better wide receivers or better running backs, and then when it comes back to you, then take that quarterback. So it's just a good thing to happen in the middle of the draft. That's why, like, you never go in there with, all right, I'm drafting running back, receiver, quarterback, tight end, because the flow of the draft is going to change for you.
Yeah. So I'm looking at my team, and I have 2 wide receivers, I have 2 running backs. The running back I really like is Tariq Cohen, and Kenyon Drake, Rashad Penny, and James White are over him. And the wide receiver I really like is DJ Moore. The guy that's drafting next has 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, that running back being Todd Gurley. I really think he's going to go running back, which scares me because I know there's 3 people ahead of him, but I just cannot pass on Tariq Cohen right now. So I'm going to draft him.
That guy did not go a single running back. He went Andrew
blows
Luck
me.
and Cooper Kupp.
That blows my mind right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I was thinking in my head, he's
Yeah.
about to go back-to-back running backs.
I thought so too.
I need to go ahead and grab my running back so I can grab my wide receiver. I really like Cooper Kupp. He's gone now. DJ Moore, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a number 1 wide receiver.
I like DJ Moore. He's in for your 3rd wide receiver in the 6th round. I like that.
Yeah,
like that
I mean he's a number 1 wide receiver. Cam Newton's shoulders 100% healthy. I can't hate on it. I mean, as my 3rd wide receiver.
Well, they say Cam Newton's shoulders 100% healthy. We'll see actually how that goes.
I believe in Cam this year. I really do.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I'm not against him, but I'm also not drafting him because his value is a little too high for me.
If I can get Cam in the 10th round, I'll take him every day.
So Josh just went Jarvis Landry. That's really what I was looking at. I was really hoping that he would come back to me. And I should have known because Josh loves Jarvis Landry.
I love his production this year.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen.
So do I. So I have a wide receiver that I'm definitely going to take. I'm going to also just glance at running back real fast. I know that one of my running backs is going to fall back to me between James White, Jordan Howard, or Miles Sanders.
Just pull the trigger on Baker.
No, I'm not ready for that yet. So Alshon Jeffrey is at the top of the list as my wide receivers. I know if I don't take him, he's going here, so I got to take him.
You like Alshon this year?
I love Alshon this year. I talked about him in my Eagles breakdown, and he's a guy that is going in the 6th round. He can easily squeak into the top 12, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just he's getting older. The injuries have been coming around more and more often. Nick Foles isn't there to bail out Carson Wentz anymore. Carson Wentz has been getting hurt. That's the only problem I have with Alshon. It's not his productivity or his talent because he's always there. He is an amazing wide receiver.
Yeah.
But it's if Carson Wentz goes down with an injury, who's going to be the quarterback?
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
I hope it doesn't either, but if we look at the past 2 seasons, I mean,
yep.
You got to look at the body of work.
All right, so I'm going to do something that's going to surprise you here.
Baker.
No, I'm not taking Baker. Not yet. I am because I'm waiting a few more rounds for a quarterback. I know I've been talking about Jordan Howard a lot, but everything in camp has been coming out about Miles Sanders, and I hate to say it, but Phil is right. Everything in camp's been coming out about Miles Sanders is looking like the best running back. He's running the hardest. So I'm going Miles Sanders here because I have 3 running backs that I think are going to be 3 solid running backs already. This is my 4th running back. I'm going to take Miles Sanders here.
I think Josh is really hating himself right now. The pick right before him was Baker.
And Matt Ryan went before that. So, you know, he's still got Carson Wentz, which I think is a very solid pick at this time.
You know what this just did for me is I'm not going quarterback this round. If Matt Ryan had made it back to me, I was going Matt Ryan this round.
Oh, yeah, easily. easily. And honestly, I glanced at quarterback real fast, and I was like, man, Matt Ryan's there. Like, I love Matt Ryan there. And honestly, I should have taken him. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I saw that he just went off the board, I'm kind of depressed about that.
For getting him in the 7th round,
Yeah.
this guy has so many weapons around him.
I don't understand why he's going so late.
Let it happen.
He was the number 2 quarterback last year. After a solid performance the year before, he's got the same weapons almost. He's got one of the best offensive lines. He's got a threat in the running game. Why is Matt Ryan going so late?
Because people just hate Matt Ryan for some reason. I mean, you got Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Calvin Ridley, Austin Hooper, Devontae Freeman, a line that has all first-round picks in it.
Yeah.
I know 2 of them are unproven because they're rookies, but, I mean, they're good. They got drafted in the first round for a reason. So, he went Jordan Howard, and that kind of makes me upset.
So he is backing out from picking up a quarterback early, which, honestly, like I said, that goes with the flow of the draft. Like, people were falling to him that he probably didn't think was going to fall to him, so he's picking them up. And he just pushed his quarterback from being early in the draft to being later in the draft. Not a big deal. Be prepared to adapt and overcome when it comes to your draft.
So I'm looking at running back here because the next guy, he has to go running back. There's just no way. So Kareem Hunt, someone I always look right here. I have already 3 running backs. He's going to come back after 8 games. But Austin Eckler is somebody I really want to talk about. If Melvin Gordon's going to sit out the whole season, Austin Eckler is going to be the number one running back. And getting him in the 7th round, it could be a steal. But I just can't do it. I got to go ahead and go Kareem Hunt. So
Really?
yeah, I really like Kareem Hunt. You know, this late, he's going to be coming back right around playoffs. You're telling me being able to get Kareem Hunt with him coming back, and now my running backs are Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson, Tariq Cohen, and Kareem Hunt leading into playoffs? I'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah, I like Kareem Hunt. 7th round, though, I don't know. I'd rather have Kareem Hunt a little bit later because he is missing 8 games. He's going to sit, and honestly, when he comes back, you don't know what he's going to be. Like, we are excited about him going into the playoffs and stuff, but you really don't know what his role is going to be. Like, he may not even hardly play.
But that's why I have 3 other running backs.
That's right.
And he was not going to go later. There's no way. If I did not take him there, he might have been taken the next because the guy took Austin Eckler right after that and went Allen Robinson. He could have easily gone Kareem Hunt, which would have been, stupid to do because he had Todd Gurley.
Yeah. That guy was definitely not going to go Kareem Hunt.
So,
but Kareem Hunt might have not fallen back to you in the 9th.
Yeah. So, wide receiver wise, guy I love. I know he's not going to come back to me if I don't take him. I'm going to go ahead and take Marvin Jones in the 8th round.
That's not bad. I like Marvin Jones. I think that whole Lions offense is going to do a lot better this year. I think Matt Stafford's going to look okay this year. So that's not a bad pick. I like that.
Well, Marvin Jones, he's shown that he can handle the workload before, and I know Galladay can too. Now it's a full season without Golden Tate. I think those passes are going to get split between those two. I really like Marvin Jones this year, especially the value you're getting him in the 8th round.
Yeah.
So what's Willie going to do here? What do you think?
I don't know. He has surprised me so far this draft. He could be looking at tight end, which you have Jared Cook, Vance McDonald, David Njoku, or he could be looking at quarterback, which is Kyler Murray, Cam Newton. Honestly, if I'm looking at quarterback, I'm flipping the page, and I'm not, because it's like it's guys that I personally don't like.
I think he's going Valdez Scantling.
You think he's going another wide receiver?
Oh wow,
Jared
he surprised us.
Yep.
Yeah,
tight end like Cook. I thought. He went Jared Cook. I'm also thinking tight end because I just saw another one go off the board, and David Njoku will be the next one off the board. And the guy that's drafted in the 1 position has 2 picks before it comes back to me, and he might take him because he don't have a tight end yet. So I'm going to go ahead and go with David Njoku.
That's a good late round tight end too.
Yeah, I really like him in the late rounds. Him and I like Jordan Reed in the late rounds. So, it comes back to me. So what I'm looking at now is I have 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs and 3 wide receivers. I could use a little wide receiver help. You got Sammy Watkins there, who I like this year. Geronimo Allison and Valdez-Scantling are both there. N'Keal Harry, Larry Fitzgerald. I'm going to flip over to running backs real fast. I don't see any running backs I like, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins is not a bad pick this late. He's the second wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. They got Patrick Mahomes. That they're going to be an air raid type offense.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I like it this late because he is my 4th wide receiver. So really with the 4th wide receiver, if he just bombs and does nothing,
you can drop
then
him.
Yeah, I didn't really lose much. Like it stinks because you don't want anybody to do that on your team. But these are the rounds that it's getting to where like, all right, this guy's got a lot of upside. Let me grab him. And Sammy Watkins is that type of guy. He does have a lot of upside.
Man, Jared Goff went off the board. And that's somebody I was looking at too. I can't believe that, man. Guy has a quarterback already. He went Baker 2 rounds earlier. This is ridiculous.
and I've seen people go at these later rounds. I've seen them go one quarterback and then the next round go another quarterback. And what you're doing right there is you're just kind of, hoping that one of these 2 quarterbacks hit. That's why like when you go into the grocery store and get you a lottery ticket, you just don't go and get one. Because what if that one right behind it is the jackpot?
Yeah, I agree with
which
that.
It never is.
Never is. I'm waiting for that day. So Josh went DK Metcalf, which, okay, I understand. He's really fast. I just, like Phil was talking about, I don't believe in his routes. He's a one-man, one route type man. Until he, can improve on his route running, I'm staying away from DK.
Yeah. Yeah, I like DK Metcalf, especially this late. I think he's going to do big things this year. He's a big guy, man. Like, I like DK Metcalf.
So, I think I'm going to go ahead and take. I'm going to take Damian Harris. As my 5th running back. He's a flyer.
Yeah,
he
might be a goal line back.
Yeah, I just need somebody to go ahead and just take the goal line work. That's somebody that he could do.
Yeah.
Sonny Michel be a 20-20. He's a goal line. James White's pass catching.
Yep.
Oh, that's what I didn't want to see.
Jameis Winston just went off the board, and that's who you were gunning for.
Well, I didn't think the guy would take him. He has Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
And he has 2 running backs.
Yeah, his team is honestly looking the worst because he has no running backs. He's got, Todd Gurley, who's got a lot of question marks, and Austin Eckler, who... Honestly, if the Melvin Gordon holdout happens, like, all right, awesome for you, man. You got a great pick there. But if the holdout, if they give him a contract, that's a terrible pick for him. A terrible strategy for him.
I'm looking at quarterback, and Phillip Rivers looks really good to me.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking at it, and I'm like, I can wait and get a Dak Prescott, a Mitchell Trubisky. It's at those late rounds right now where I'm just like... What do I do? Jameis Winston's gone. Cam Newton's gone. Those are the guys that I really wanted. If Cam Newton had fallen back to me, I would have taken him. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go wide receiver here. I'm really worried because of how high y'all are on this guy that he's not going to make it back to me. I have so far long to go. I'm going to go ahead and take Paris Campbell.
Yeah. I like Paris Campbell so late because the Colts are singing his praises, man. Like, they really like him there. He's doing great. I love Paris Campbell, And I've noticed that anytime you're in a draft with like Josh or myself, you take Paris Campbell early.
Well, y'all are 2 Ohio State guys.
Yeah, it's somebody that you want, and it's somebody that we both love. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't really mind, stretching on him because, Curtis Samuel, I love Dede. That's the next guy. That's the only guy I would have probably taken. Deshaun Jackson, we talk about how he's boomer bust. I don't want that on my team because you never know when to play the guy. Emmanuel Sanders, Kiki Qt, Devin Funches.
Yeah. See, I'd rather have... I think I'd rather have Curtis Samuel over Paris Campbell. But I really like the upside in Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
He was a difference maker in Ohio State. Like, all you wanted was them to put the ball in his hands. And once he got the ball in his hands, you never knew what happened. Like, It could go for a touchdown. It could go for like an 80-yard gain. Like he was so fast, man.
And having him sit behind guys like, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, and Marvin Jones, I feel really safe if he doesn't,
Yeah, that's true.
live up to expectations.
All right, so it's back around to me. I want my quarterback right now.
Hold on, not Philly Phil. Willie took Tom Brady.
Yeah. I'd rather
over
have
Phillip Rivers.
I'd rather have Ben Roethlisberger. So that's who I'm actually going right now because I feel like if I don't take Ben Roethlisberger right now in the 10th round,
he's not coming back.
There's 4 picks. There's 4 picks until I get my pick again, and they both have quarterbacks, but I feel like they would probably steal him from me, and I don't want that to happen.
Don't trust that strategy. We found out with Jameis Winston.
Yeah, right. So I'm taking Ben Roethlisberger here. Now I'm going to get back onto my balance game here in trying to do running backs and receivers. I haven't drafted a running back in about 4 rounds. I like Jerick McKinnon to kind of handcuff my Tevin Coleman, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Jerick McKinnon. It's not really a handcuff. It's kind of like it's
a safety net.
Yeah, it's just like what if this guy's doing better? What if this guy's doing better? And honestly, what if they both just do great? Then I'm into a Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram type situation, which honestly they're not going to be that good, but they can both do big things, and I think that backfield will do all right this year.
I mean, Jerick McKinnon was taken in the 2nd or 3rd round last year.
Yeah,
and getting him this late, like we've seen what he can do as the 2nd primary back.
Yeah,
and he puts up a total of
almost 1,000 yards, like almost 1,000 total yards when he played for Minnesota.
Yeah. And that was with Matt Asiata.
Yeah.
That dude, the touchdown vulture himself.
Yeah. So it's on Josh after he finally got his quarterback, and I tell you what, last year same situation. I got Ben Roethlisberger in the 10th round. He ended up being the 3rd quarterback overall on the season. And everybody is down on Ben Roethlisberger this year. He still has weapons. He still has James Conner, Jalen Samuel. He still has Vance McDonald, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, and Dante Moncrief. So I don't think his weapons went down all that much. Yeah, he doesn't have Antonio Brown. I get that. But what if Antonio Brown was a cancer in the locker room and he was an issue? Like, what if everything is better this year and Ben Roethlisberger goes out there and just slays it again?
Yeah. I think it's time for me to go ahead and take my tight end.
Yeah, it's about that time.
It's about time for me to take my tight end. I'm going to go ahead and... I really like TJ Hawkinson this year. And now he's been getting the first reps over Jesse James, which is...
To be honest, if I were you, if I were in your position, I didn't have a tight end yet, I'm waiting. I'm going to pick up Jordan Reed in one of the last couple rounds.
I don't like Jordan Reed. I'll probably, if I don't take TJ Hawkinson here, I'll wait for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. And here's the thing. At this point, you're probably, like, TJ Hawkinson may not pan out. You may be streaming anyways. You never know.
Yeah.
And
this is where I don't mind taking 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be playing the matchups.
Yeah. So and like I said, with Jordan Reed, everything in camp is coming out that he is shining every week, every day in training camp. I really like Jordan Reed this year if he can stay healthy, and that's always been his problem.
So with that being said, we're talking about somebody that flourishes in training camp so far. I'm going to go ahead and take John Brown.
Oh, you waited.
I'm going to go ahead and take John Brown.
All right.
I saw him when I flashed over to the wide receivers, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take him. Another guy.
Your boy Hawkinson's still there. Are you going to wait?
Yeah, I'm going to...
Did I talk you into that?
You kind of talked me into waiting. I'm going to change up strategies.
All right.
Now I'm going to look at running backs, and it's the bottom of the barrel. You're playing for upside. Who's going to get the field? Justice Hill, I talked about him earlier. I could see him taking the field. Ito Smith is somebody I look at because, Devontae Freeman was hurt, and he's been getting hurt. So do I take Ito Smith, stash him on my bench? He maybe turns into a starting running back. I don't know. Because I feel like in the later rounds, you're looking at who can turn into a starting running back or who's going to get carries.
Oh, yeah. So you're looking for them sleepers, them guys that are going late that could, could take over on the field. I like that.
I'm going to go ahead and take Ito Smith. With that being said, they got a good offensive line. Devontae Freeman, he's been hurt. I really think, they had Tevin Coleman, and Tevin Coleman was taking carries away from Devontae Freeman. So I really think Ito Smith could be that, Tevin Coleman to Devontae Freeman. And getting him in the 12th round, I'm not going to lose any sleep if he doesn't pan out.
Right, yeah. I got a running back that I'm eyeing right now that I'm hoping he doesn't go before it comes
Kalen
back.
Ballage?
Yes, it is. I'm a little heavier on my running backs already, but Kalen Ballage, if he doesn't make it back to me, I'm going to be a little upset. Because in my opinion, Kalen Ballage is going to be the number one back in Miami. I'm getting a number one back in the 12th round. If my thinking goes to plan.
Yeah,
so, did he just go off? Oh my goodness! I thought
he went right before you. No.
Yeah, so I thought he fell to me. All right, so yeah, he went to pick right before me, and that is just such a bummer.
Josh did go Tyrell Williams.
Okay, did he go Tyrell? Okay. And I was that's the receiver I was actually looking at. Yeah, so I'm looking at the wide receivers. I don't see any at the top of this list that is really catching my eye right now. So I'm going to flip back over to running back. I see Matt Breida. I don't really want to lock up all three running backs in San Francisco. I don't think that's a strategy that I should take.
Go ahead, just go for it.
Justin Jackson is somebody that catches my eye. I really like him in the 12th round, especially if Melvin Gordon gets traded or if he holds out.
Because Austin Eckler's played and he's gotten hurt. Justin Jackson really proved himself last year.
Absolutely.
When he had to.
Justin Jackson is a hard runner. I like the way that he runs. I'm going to go ahead and go with Justin Jackson here.
I like that pick.
And like I said, if Melvin Gordon holds out or if he gets traded, that's such a good pick in the 12th round. Like, I got somebody that's either going to split carries or take the lead role. Most likely he's just going to split carries with Austin Eckler, but, he's going to put up some good points if Melvin Gordon's out.
No wide receivers went off the board either.
No wide receivers went off the board. I got Marquise Goodwin, who I kind of like. He had. I'm not a big fan of him, but he had some good connection with Jimmy Garoppolo when they were both in there. He is fast. They did say that they were going to cut back his snaps to keep his special speed on the field. So when you see him on the field, like, he's going to be running full speed every time.
What about Jamison Crowder? You scroll down.
I'm not a huge fan of Jamison Crowder.
He's going to be playing the slot at, New York.
I don't like Sam Darnold, though, man. Like,
you don't, that's right. Sam Darnold's not a bad quarterback. He's going to, get the ball. They're going to do checkdowns. I really think Adam Gase is going to help Sam Darnold this year. I really do. So, but I do understand with you not liking Sam Darnold, you would not go any Jets wide receiver.
I honestly have a lot of good running backs. I have a lot of good wide receivers. I don't like anything that's on the board that won't fall back to me. So I'm going to go ahead and go Dak Prescott here, because Dak Prescott could honestly be a top 10 quarterback. He's going to be able to fill in for those matchup nightmares that Ben Roethlisberger has.
You suck so bad.
Was that your next take? Oh
my God, yeah. I was going, wow.
And honestly, the only reason I went that, I normally don't take two quarterbacks, but the only reason I did that is I did not like anything that was on the board at that time.
Just couldn't go defense, couldn't do anything for me.
And honestly, if Dak Prescott wasn't there, because the next one was like Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitch Trubisky. I'm not a huge fan of those guys. I would have flipped over to a defense, and I don't like grabbing a defense early, but like I said, I didn't like anything that was on the board right there.
I hate this. Oh, I hate this. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Wow, T.J. Hawkinson went off the board too. It's not a good time. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Jimmy Graham.
Nice.
I'm just going.
Now, Jimmy Graham could be a very solid tight end. He's done it before, one. And two, he's got Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. It's his second year in that system. I think Jimmy Graham has the potential to do big things. It's just whether he does it or not. We'll find out.
I went ahead and went Dallas Cowboys defense. I don't have a quarterback yet. I'm really just going to wait.
You're banking on Josh Allen now, ain't you?
No, I'm banking on Mitchell Trubisky falling to me.
Oh, yeah? Okay. And that's not you're going to be streaming quarterback throughout the year.
No, I'm not. If Mitchell Trubisky falls to me, I'm going to ride with Mitchell Trubisky.
Well, yeah, but honestly, I don't see Mitchell Trubisky being an every week starter. I think you're going to be streaming. Like I don't like. Now Dan will tell you. Did he just go?
No,
Josh Williams just took him. It's like he can hear us.
No. I just found the quarterback I'm gonna take in a heartbeat.
Okay,
if he's still here, and you're gonna draft, I'm not telling him because you're gonna draft him out of spite.
Jordan Reed went off the board. That's who I was kind of looking for my next pick. Marquise Goodwin is still there. I think I'm gonna take him. Not the happiest with it. I'm scrolling down to see because this was my last pick before I had to pick a defense and a kicker. So I'm just scrolling a little bit down to see if I like somebody better, and I don't see anyone. I'm going to check my running backs real fast. Alfred Morris is there, which could be huge if Zeke misses any time.
Misses the season.
Mike Davis is there as well. I'm not a huge fan of Mike Davis. I don't think he's going to do like monstrous things, but in the 14th round, you just never know.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Marquise Goodwin though. He's the number 1 wide receiver. I'm getting him in the 14th round. I'll take that. Well, he's not really the number 1. Dante Pettis is probably the number 1.
But Dante Pettis hasn't. I mean, really, he didn't have a great year last year. I mean, then again, Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt, but Marquise Goodwin was the number 1 wide receiver going into San Francisco last year.
So. All right, so I got to pick a kicker in the defense. I see the Eagles defense out there, which I like. Kickers is a dime a dozen, so I'm going to take the Eagles defense.
That's a good defense for being this late with
15th
everybody
round.
going ahead taking defenses.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Yeah.
That's a good draft for you to have. You're pretty evenly stacked.
Yeah, and that's what I do like that even keel of all right. I have a really good running back and a decent backup. I got a really good starting wide receiver and a decent backup. My number 1s are good. My number 2s are okay. They're not bad, but and I think Leonard Fournette being my number 2, my number 2 running back. I think Leonard Fournette's a solid pick there.
No quarterbacks went off the board. That's amazing for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go kicker. I'm gonna go kicker.
Who you going, Derek Carr?
No.
Matt Stafford?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hold on. Let's see. I'm drafting my quarterback, my starting quarterback.
In the 16th round.
In the 16th round, and I'm going with Matthew Stafford.
I've honestly been very close to doing the same thing before. Like
a couple years
ago, I drafted Andy Dalton in the 13th or 14th round, and he didn't end up being my starter at all that year. That year, I got Deshaun Watson when he was just killing it. And then tore his ACL, and then I ended up trading for Kirk Cousins that year. Which, I hate Kirk Cousins anyways, but...
Go ahead and pick your kicker.
Go ahead and pick my kicker. I'm just picking it up. Mason Crosby's my guy.
Yeah, Brett Maher was Josh's, so...
Yep. Alright, so that wraps it up for the mock draft strategies.
Do you want to name your team?
Name my team?
Quarterback, running backs, wide receiver.
Okay, yeah. List out who I drafted.
Yeah.
All right, so I drafted Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, Telvin Coleman, Kenny Golladay, Alshon Jeffrey, Miles Sanders, David Njoku, Sammy Watkins, Ben Roethlisberger, Jerick McKinnon, Justin Jackson, Dak Prescott, Marquise Goodwin, and I got the Eagles defense and Mason Crosby.
Josh in the 8th spot got James Conner, Dalvin Cook, Kerryon Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, Jarvis Landry, Jordan Howard, Jared Cook, DK Metcalf, Tom Brady, Devin Singletary, Tyrell Williams, Cleveland Browns defense, Mitch Trubisky, Devontae Parker, and Brett Maher.
All right, so I think what Josh's strategy was there was to get a Cook at every position.
Or a J.
Because he got Dalvin Cook, Brandon Cooks, and Jared Cook.
My team, I got Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson, Tariq Cohen, DJ Moore, Kareem Hunt, Marvin Jones, Damian Harris, Paris Campbell, John Brown, Ida Smith, Jimmy Graham, Cowboys defense, Giorgio Tabaccio, and Matthew Stafford.
All right. So honestly, I like all three drafts. I think they're pretty even. They're not too far apart from each other. I do believe that you redeemed yourself, Tyler, from the draft that we did earlier together.
Yeah, I just proved, to everybody that I make sense when I say do not draft a tight end early.
I like drafting tight end early. I am not against that, but I don't like drafting a tight end early when you go receiver, because then you're hurting so bad at running back that you're just hating it.
I didn't go receiver.
Yeah.
I went receiver tight end.
Yeah, that's right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take these out. We're going to put them up on our social media. Have everybody vote on them. Who's your favorite? What's your favorite draft? We'll put them up side by side. Team 1, Team 2, Team 3. So you guys can check that out. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. Twitter, Facebook. Our Facebook is at Overtime Fantasy. Our Twitter is at Fantasy Overtime. Go to www.overtimefantasy.com. You can follow all of our social media there in the top right hand corner. It also has our SoundCloud, our Stitcher, all that good stuff. Don't be afraid to ask us a question. We have a submit a question part down there at the bottom of the homepage on the website. Click on that, fill it out, ask us a question, give us some feedback. If you just want to chit chat, we'll chit chat with you. And also, it's not too late, to sign up for a best ball. Sign up for a best ball draft at, go to www.draft.com/OTFantasy and submit $10. You get a free $3 entry. Go ahead and do that because the time for best ball drafts are starting to dwindle down a little bit. Tyler, you got anything else?
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody listening if you made it this far. I hope Dan and Phil transform from trophies and rings and can join us next podcast.
He's a real boy!
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.